Hi kids, this is a short video to help you understand what to do on this assignment called Types of Media Bias. You're going to go to the linked website, it's on the assignment. This is it, where is it? Right here. That link will take you to this page called How to Spot 11 Types of Media Bias. This is a really interesting page with a ton of interesting information, and if you find this subject fascinating, I encourage you to read the whole thing. They talk about 11 types of media bias. For each type, they explain what it is and they give you examples of it and some information about how to spot it. But I'm only asking you to write about 4 of the types. So number 4 is sensationalism / emotionalism. Number 7 is slant. Number 9 is bias by omission. And number 11 is bias by placement. For each one of these, you can use Control F to find it on the page. And then I want you to give me 1 or 2 sentences in your own words, if possible, but maybe you can just use the words you see there if they make sense to you, defining this type of media bias. And then I want you to give me a few sentences explaining how somebody would know if they were looking at this kind of media bias. I'll give you an example of me doing this for the first type of media bias that they identify, which is called spin. So if I were doing this for spin, I want to write a definition of spin. Let's go over to that website. Control F, spin, there it is. Spin is a type of media bias that means vague, dramatic, or sensational language. When journalists put a spin on a story, they stray from objective, measurable facts. So I think I'm going to define it as media bias where journalists use vague, dramatic, or sensational language that isn't objective or factual. So this doesn't sound super lovely. I'm just doing this sort of off the top of my head. Spin is the media bias where journalists use vague or sensational language, and as a result, stray from objective fact. Probably put some commas before and after as a result. Now, if I were you and I didn't know a word, like let's say I didn't know what sensational was, I would just open a new tab, sensational, define. Oh, spelled it wrong, but Google fixed it for me. Adjective, causing great public interest and excitement. So they're using exciting language. Sensational language would be vague or exciting language. So, okay, how would somebody know if they were looking at spin? Let's see. Well, they give me a lot of examples here of spin words and phrases. So I think that what I could say is that a reader might know they were looking at spin if they saw some of these words. So I might say, might know they were seeing spin if they saw words like, and then I'm going to list like maybe 5 or 10 of these words. Now, you won't have words to look for each of the 4 that I'm asking you to do, but after you think about it for a minute or 2, you'll be able to come up with a way to explain how somebody would know they were looking at this kind of bias. Once you understand what that kind of bias is, you'll be able to say how somebody would recognize it. And of course, as you're working on this, if you have any questions, please ask me.